I woke at 6 a.m. to the familiar crunch of tires on my front lawn. My suburban lot, a lush green patch I'd babied for years, sat proudly outside the Meadowview HOA's control. But my neighbor Gary didn't give a damn. His rusty pickup parked smack on my grass flattened my sod like a steamroller. I stormed outside, hoodie half-sipped, and found Gary, Meadowview's self-anointed car guru, waxing his truck's hood. My lawn wasn't a parking lot. It boasted a sprinkler system I'd installed last summer, a private property sign staked deep, and a flower bed I'd spent months perfecting. Yet Gary acted like my yard was his personal lot, claiming it was unused since I didn't mow it hourly. His tires carved ruts, my daisies were pulp, and an oil stain mocked my efforts. I'd tolerated Gary's nonsense before his midnight engine revs, his hubcaps littering my driveway butt. This was war. My lawn was my sanctuary, and he defiled it. I recorded his truck tires sunk in my sod and checked my deed. My lot was grandfathered, free from HOA rules, bought before Meadowview's cookie-cutter houses sprouted. Gary's pickup stayed all weekend, joined by his buddy's SUV for a tailgate party. My grass turned to mud, my sprinklers bent like straws. Gary's crew left beer cans and tire marks, turning my yard into a junkyard. I confronted him, but he waved a Meadowview newsletter about shared spaces, acting like my lawn was community property. My property wasn't in their jurisdiction, I owned it outright, but Gary's entitlement knew no bounds. I called the police, but the officer arrived to Gary's handshake and a folder labeled Meadowview Parking Vision. My deed and photos of my pristine lawn didn't sway him. He called it a civil issue without proof of damage. It's my tree-mounted security camera, set up to catch stray dogs. I'd recorded Gary driving onto my lawn, laughing about claiming it as his lot. I showed the footage, but the officer said it needed a judge. Gary's Sunday car wash bash brought more trucks, churning my yard into a swamp. His car club sign and tarp canopy mocked my property. I photographed the chaos, my blood boiling. My flower bed was gone, my grass dead. That night I scoured zoning laws and found gold. Paved surfaces warranty lawn under parking codes. If I concreted my yard, Gary couldn't park there, legally or otherwise. The idea was absurd, poetic, and perfect. My lawn was dying, but I'd make it untouchable. I called my buddy Mike, a landscaper, who knew a contractor willing to pour concrete overnight. Gary thought he'd won, but I was crafting a hard end to his invasion. By Monday, my lawn was a tire-tracked wasteland. Gary's daily rev meets brought more cars, his canopy shading a neon Gearhead Haven sign. He'd spray-painted my sprinklers, calling them junk. I snapped photos, building my case. My camera footage showed Gary's truck tearing my sod, him joking about my complaints. I backed it up twice. Meadowview's bylaws, which didn't apply to me, limited sharing to HOA lots. Gary's newsletter was a bluff. His online video, panning across his car lot on my lawn, invited locals to a Motor Mania grill-out. It was a trespassing confession. Posted it to a neighborhood Facebook group captioned HOA Guy Steals Lawn. Comments erupted, calling it delusional. Neighbors I barely knew messaged, shocked I wasn't in Meadowview. Gary's rebuttal video claimed I was bullying his car culture. Tanked, buried in sarcastic emojis. I scheduled the concrete pour for Thursday night. Mike leveled the ruined lawn, prepping for the slab. My lot wasn't zoned as green space, so paving was legal. I called my cousin Lisa, a lawyer who drafted a trespass warning citing property laws. I taped it to Gary's truck. His reply: a note. This is Meadowview's turf now. His moonlit motor show was set for Friday. I smirked. He was in for a shock. Thursday at 2 a.m., the contractor's truck rolled in, mixers humming. We poured concrete across my yard, a smooth gray slab hardening by dawn. Gary's truck was at his shop, leaving the coast clear. The slab set, unparkable, permanent. I stenciled private in bold yellow, my camera rolling. At 7 a.m., Gary's pickup roared back. He froze, staring at the slab, his jaw unhinged. He paced, yelling about vandalism, but my lawn was gone, replaced by a fortress. He called the police, claiming I'd destroyed his parking. The officer, seeing my footage and Lisa's letter, shrugged. My slab was legal. Gary live-streamed, ranting about my concrete conspiracy. Comments mocked him as asphalt. His buddy tried parking on the slab, tires squealing, but it held like iron. Medovia's treasurer arrived demanding I rip it up. I showed her my proof. She left, flustered. The slab gleamed, a silent victory. Reddit caught wind, dubbing it Gary's concrete crash. Memes showed him weeping over cement. My lawn's death birthed justice. Gary's meltdown went viral. His video whining about my slab drew global laughs. Meadowview sent a letter demanding I restore the grass. Lisa's reply cited my rights and told him to scram. They tried rezoning my lot as green space, but at an HOA meeting, neighbor Tom, 30-year resident, called Gary a trespasser. The board backed off, humiliated. Gary threatened to sue for property loss, but Lisa's countersuit with my footage scared his lawyer away. Gary lost his HOA role. A new president, Emma, added a Gary rule barring overreach. Gary's house hit the market. He vanished. I painted my slab with a mural. No parking, ever. Locals snapped photos, loving it. A vlogger offered $5,000 to film there. I turned my slab into a community art space, open to all, with a sign. No Garys allowed. It became a spot for coffee and laughs, proof that boundaries, defended with concrete and a viral post, can restore peace. Gary wanted my lawn. He got a meme, his car lot a TikTok legend, forever paved over.